Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Three Women. And this movie came out in 1977, and it's directed by Robert Altman. And this is my first Robert Altman movie that I've ever watched. And I thought this movie was pretty great. And I did enjoy the slower pace of the film. It's not a fast paced film, it's not overly long, it doesn't overstay its welcome. And I never felt as though the pacing was an issue for me. Although I can see some people having an issue because it is a slower movie for sure. Like it's a slow burn in the same way like a Michelle Haneke film is a slow burn. But it always feels like it's building to something and has like a purpose, or like another great example of something that's slow but has purpose is a David Lynch film, or at least the ones that I've seen, and I do feel as though there's purpose for it to be going that slow, and it does add to the atmosphere. And I do think that just about every choice that this movie makes has purpose behind it. Like, I do think it's well shot throughout, and I do like the music. It is kind of unsettling, just how it adds to each scene, and it's done so in a way that I feel complements the film, because the movie is kind of going for that, and it's slowly building and building and building, and eventually you do get a release, and we'll talk about that later. And in the first 5 minutes where it says credits and it's just establishing like the setting, I do like the choice that there was like no dialogue, and I thought that was kind of cool. I liked what the movie was setting up and where the plot went, and I do think that the performances are also very strong. Like, I love Shelley Duvall in this movie, and Sissy Spacek, I probably mispronounced that, from Carrie. She did a really great job in this film. And the characters are memorable and very distinct. And I liked watching these characters and their dynamics and where they take those. And just the premise of the movie is taken to its logical extreme. And also staying consistently unpredictable. Like, you never know what's going to happen next. Even if you have somewhat of an understanding of what's going on, you can kind of predict where things will probably eventually go. But I do feel like, for the most part, it's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen next, because it does take an unconventional route, which I do like a lot. Like, I can't really think of a lot of movies that are like this, or many movies that are like it. And while watching the movie, I was never really thinking of other movies. I do feel as though like what I was watching was original and didn't feel overly familiar. Like, I've seen a bunch of these things a million times and have been done better in other films. I do feel as though like what it was selling was something that really connected with me. There are also parts in this movie that are kind of intense, and it's all just dialogue and acting, and nothing is really extreme in terms of the actions that the characters make or what happens story-wise. It's just the characters are reaching a point where they just have to speak loudly, and so much can be interpreted from that. And I also enjoyed the side characters in this movie. Some of them were kind of funny and interesting, and it was all in all just a really great experience. And my only issues with this movie would be just like a couple things. There was a kind of a dream sequence-ish in the third act that I felt was kind of unnecessary, just like summing everything up. And I just felt as though it was unnecessary. And also, the ending for the film, I liked how it is on paper more than I do in execution, because it was kind of unsatisfying for me personally. But it is a film that is asking you to read into it, and it just felt like some stuff was missing and just wasn't in the movie at all. But overall, I thought this movie was pretty great, despite the ending being a little weak. I do feel as though, despite its weaknesses, there are plenty of elements to this movie that are very strong. And I was thoroughly with this movie in terms of where it went overall. And I would definitely watch this movie again. And there isn't really a whole lot to spoil with this movie, because not really much happens throughout, but I found it engaging. I found the characters interesting, and if you don't find these characters interesting, then I feel as though the movie's not going to work for you. So I would highly recommend that you check this movie out whenever you get the chance. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Three Women a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of Three Women and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Y2K. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.